Hello viewers, you're welcome back to Insta School Virtual Learning Platform. My name is Mr. Emmanuel, the Commerce Tutor. In our last class, we started taking questions from 2010 West African Senior Secondary Certificate Examination, 2010 questions. We will continue the concluding part of that session here. You can follow us on our social media platform. On Facebook and Instagram, we are at instaschool_edu. You get to know about our various services, our promotional offers, and as well as fun learning facts. On Twitter, we are at instaschool_live. But on Facebook and Instagram, we are at instaschool_edu. Now let's get on to the business of the day. In the last class, we treated questions 1 to 25. So let's continue with question number 26. And this is, in which of the following are members entitled to 1 vote, irrespective of the number of shares held? A, public corporation, B, partnership, C, limited company, and D, cooperative societies. Option A, public corporation, cannot be the option because public corporation, all of the shares are majorly owned by the government. Partnership and limited liability companies, the vote is based on the number of shares. So the number of shares you have will determine the number of votes that you're entitled to. But a cooperative society, irrespective of the number of shares you have, you are only entitled to 1 vote. So correct answer is option D. Option D. Question 27. Mobile shopping involves selling dash. Mobile shopping involves selling, is it from motor van, or selling at a particular spot in the city, or in multiple shops only, or selling from a vending machine? It's mobile, that is, it moves from place to place. So it cannot be at a particular spot or through a vending machine. And it won't also be in multiple shops because shops don't move. Mobile shopping involves selling from motor van because a motor van can move from place to place. So the correct answer is option A. Option A, from the motor van. Question 28. The provision of adequate number of berths by which ships can load and offload is a function of the dash. A, the Department of Customs and Excise, B, the Port Authority, C, the Shipping and Forwarding Agent, and D, the National Shipping Line. The Department of Customs and Excise are only in charge of charging duties and the administration of the duties. The Port Authority are in charge of the ports, everything that happens in the ports, from warehousing to docks, dock management, to ship loading and of the providing a place or berth for ship loading and offloading. Shipping and forwarding agents can only help with documentation, and the National Shipping Line is more or less a national owned commercial organization that is involved in the shipment of goods and services. So the correct answer is option B, the Port Authority. They are the ones in charge of the ports, from the warehousing to berths to dock management. Question number 29. Which of the following is not a disadvantage of a one-man business? A, unlimited liability owner. B, life of business limited to life of owner. C, personal control of business. and D, difficulty in raising additional capital. All of these are disadvantages of one-man business except for one. So let's consider each of them. Unlimited liability owner. A one-man business have unlimited liability. Excuse me. What this means is that if the business runs into a loss, its personal properties can be sold to offset the liabilities of the business. That's a disadvantage. Option B says the life of business is limited to the life of the owner. For many one-man businesses, if the owner dies, that's the end of the business. Personal control of the business. One-man businesses have one person who is in full control of the business, and that's not a disadvantage but an advantage instead. Option D says difficulty in raising additional capital. Yes, that's another bottleneck of one-man businesses. They have challenges with raising capital because they have little avenues to raise capital. So a correct answer is option C, which is not a disadvantage. Question number 30. Unlimited liability in business implies that the dash. Is it that the risk of the owner is limited only to the amount invested, or the debts are paid with subventions, or property of the owners should not be used to secure loans, or the owner's private property can be used to settle the business debts. Unlimited liability. That is, the liability, the obligation has no end. So it's clearly not option A, because option A is already talking about limited, but it's not limited. Option C says debts are paid with subventions. No, debts are paid with personal properties. Option C says property of the owner should not be used to secure loans, which is not. If that's what to be, then it's no longer unlimited. Option D says owner's private properties can be used to settle business debt, and that's the correct answer, because the liabilities, the obligations are not limited to the properties of the business. Even the properties of the owner can be used to settle debt. So our correct answer is option D. Option D. Question number 31. Sole proprietorship is a form of business owned by dash. This should be very easy. Option A, individual. Option B, two or more persons. Option C, a registered business subsidiary. And option D, the government. It's quite easy. Sole proprietorship, also known as one-man business. Of course, there are no two or more persons in one person. So sole proprietorship, also known as one-man business, is owned by an individual. Question number 32. And this is, which of these qualities guarantees the keeping of money for a long period? Is it A, acceptability, B, divisibility, C, durability, and D, homogeneity? A means that anywhere you take it to, it is acceptable. So Naira note is accepted in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Kaduna, in Yenagoa. Anywhere in the country, it must be acceptable. That is what the quality of acceptability means. The quality of divisibility means that it should be able to be broken down into smaller units. You can break 1,000 naira into two 500 naira, or into 5 200 naira notes, or into 10 100 naira notes, or into 20 50 naira notes. That's divisibility. Durability. This quality means that it should be durable, it should stand the test of time. It should be able to be kept for a long period of time without it getting damaged. While finally, homogeneity means that it should stand out. It should be easily recognized, separate and distinct from other things that looks like it. So the quality that guarantees keeping money for a long period where it will not spoil is durability. Option C. Option C. Question 33. Which of the following is not a source of fund for sole proprietorship? Option A, personal savings. Option B, borrowings from friends and relatives. Option C, borrowing from financial institutions. And option D, government bonds. Personal savings, one-man business or sole proprietorship can have the owner save up money to start his business. He could also borrow from his friends and relatives, so that's also correct, or could also approach financial institutions like banks for loans to start the business, provided he has a good business proposal. Option D, government bonds. One-man businesses cannot sell bonds to raise funds. Only sovereign authority, the government, can sell bonds. So the correct answer is option D, which is the odd item out. Option D. Option D. Question 34. Which of the following is not an advantage of partnership? Which of the following is not an advantage of partnership? A. Diversified managerial talent. B. Greater financial resources. C. Freedom to terminate business. And D. Account is not made public. Option A. Diversified managerial talent. This means that you have different people with different talents to be part of the management of the partnership business, and that is an advantage. Option B, greater financial resources, because there are more persons, there are more owners, there are more partners, then there is greater resources, financial resources, because what one person can bring cannot be the same as what a group of 5 people would bring. So that's an advantage. Option C, the freedom to terminate business. No, in fact, partners do not have the freedom to terminate business unless it is unanimously agreed by all partners. So option C is not an advantage. But let's see option D. It says account is not made public. Yes, partnership accounts are not made public. Only public limited liability companies are required to publicize their accounts. So our correct answer is option C. Option C. Question number 35. Which of the following is used for a single payment of many people at the same time through a bank instead of writing separate checks? A. Debit transfer. B. Credit transfer. C. Certified check. And D. Crossed check. The question already told us that instead of writing separate checks, so we're not issuing checks. So it's not option C, it's not option D. Option A, direct debit transfer. Debit refers to when you receive something. So you can't pay somebody by receiving money from them. No. Rather, the correct answer is credit transfer. Credit transfer is an automated electronic means of sending money to multiple persons through your either bank app or USSD code or internet banking facility. You can send to a number of persons at the same time. So the correct answer is option B. Option B, credit transfer. For those of you just joining us, my name is Mr. Emmanuel, the commerce tutor here at InstaSchool. At InstaSchool, we offer you interesting learning experiences that comes to you at the comfort of your home. We have various video lessons that can help you prepare for your school terminal exams, external exams, and can also help you learn certain topics across different subjects. We also have preparatory classes for external exams like this. As you enjoyed this class, you could be kind enough to tell your friends. And when you get your friends to register and be part of our classes, we have rewards waiting for you. You can follow us on our social media platform to get to know about our various services, our promotional offers, and fun learning facts. On Facebook and Instagram, we are at instaschool_edu. Instaschool_edu. And on Twitter, we are at instaschool_live. So follow us, like our page, drop your comments or questions, and let's learn together. We've been taking questions from 2010 Waec questions, and we've treated 35 questions so far. So let's continue with question number 36. The legal document that gives an individual power to protect his own piece of invention is called dash. A. Copyright, B. License, C. Patent right, and D. Trademark. Now they all look similar, but they are for different purposes. Copyright is used to protect written intellectual property. So maybe you have a document, you have a book, you have a music, you have maybe an artwork. Those are protected by copyright. License is the authority to operate, but patent right is used to protect an invention, while trademark is to protect a trading name, logo, or inscription. Just like the name Puma, or the name Nike, or the inscription "Just Do It" for Nike. Those are protected under a trademark. Now, so to protect invention, it is protected through patent right. Option C, patent rights. Question 37. A mortgage bank is primarily concerned with financing the acquisition of dash. Mortgage bank. A. Motor vehicle, B. Research equipment, C. Company machine, and D. Dwelling houses. Mortgage refers to housing. Mortgage refers to housing. That's their primary response. That's their primary concern. That's their primary objective. So our correct answer is simply option D. Option D. Question 38. The work of actuaries is to dash. The work of actuaries is to dash. A. Underwrite insurance risk. B. Calculate insurance premium. C. Settle insurance claims. And D. Assess profits for insurance companies. Actuaries are people who work in the insurance sector, and they calculate the risks associated to each event with the aim of calculating the premium that is payable. So don't get confused with option A. They do not underwrite the insurance risks. No, though they calculate the risks in order to calculate the premium payable, but they do not underwrite the risk. The insurance company underwrites the risk. So the correct answer is option B. Option B, they calculate the insurance premium by calculating the risk. So question 39. Government financial grant is a source of capital to a dash. It's a partnership, public limited company, public corporation, or cooperative society. Now, government financial grants. In as much as any of these may become beneficiary of government grants, but the most suitable, the most correct answer is public corporation, because public corporation is the belongs to the government. It's a property of the business. It is the first source of income to public corporation is government itself. So our correct answer is option C. Option C, public corporation. Question number 40. This is, which of the following is not a feature of cooperative societies? Which of the following is not a characteristic of cooperative society? Option A says owners are the customers. Option B says capital can be repaid to the members. Option C says votes are according to shares held. And option D says dividend is based on patronage. All of these are characteristics of cooperative societies except for option C. Cooperative societies do not transact business, do not offer services to non-members. So the owners are the customers. The capital can be repaid to the members when they are leaving the cooperative. So the capital that they contributed as shares will be refunded back to them when they are leaving the cooperative society. Then option C says votes are according to shares held. No, votes are one vote to each person, irrespective of the number of shares that is held. And then dividend is based on patronage, of course. Option D is correct. So the odd item out is option C. Option C. Votes are according to shares held. Question number 41. This is the practice of selling the product below the cost price to attract customers to a shop is known as dash. It's the edging, loss leader, skimming, or under invoicing. The practice of selling products below the cost price. Now, this is usually done when you are unable to sell the product at the when the current market price or the prevailing price is below your cost price. So if you decide to sell it at the current market price, you will not at your own trading price, you will not get sales. So in order to get people to come and buy, you are forced to edge the market. That is, reduce your own your prices to attract people. It's like having an edge over the prevailing market situation. When the market is tense, that such that you do not have a share, you're unable to get your own market share, edging is an option that you could use. And edging involves reducing your price below the cost price so that these products can be off you, so that they don't get completely damaged or expired while with you. So the correct answer is option A, edging. Edging. Question 42. Which of the following is not contained in a deed of partnership? Which of the following is not contained in a deed of partnership? A, names and addresses of partners. B, ratio of sharing profits and losses. C, investment of each partner. And D, rate of taxation. The deed of partnership or partnership deed is a document that shows the basis of the partnership. It shows the agreement upon which the partnership business is formed. And in it, we have things like the name of the partnership, the name of the members or the partners, their contribution, their capital contribution, their profit sharing ratio, their interest on drawings of capital if there is any, their salaries if there is any. In some cases, the duration of the partnership. It does not include the rate of taxation, because taxation rate is determined by the government body. In Nigeria, the Federal Inland Revenue Service. So option D is not included in the partnership deed, the rate of taxation. Question 43. The publication of facts from a firm's product is called dash. The publication of facts from a firm's product is called dash. A, merchandising. B, exhibition. C, feature articles. And D, mass advertising. Merchandising involves buying and selling. Exhibition involves portraying, showing people what you have, showing people the things that your product can do or what your product is made up from. There is no exaggeration in exhibition. Option C, feature articles. These feature articles are write-ups to sensitize people about products or scenarios. Mass advertising involves advertisements using mass media, radio, television, billboards, among others. So the publication of facts telling people what your product can do, what your product is made up of, is exhibition. You are letting them know what your product stands for. So the correct answer is option B. Option B. Question number 44. Which of the following is not a function of a retailer? Which of the following is not a function of a retailer? Option A says providing after-sales service. Providing after-sales services. Option B, stocking variety of goods. Option C, selling in small units to the consumers. And option D, financing manufacturers. The retailer performs all of these, almost all of these. They provide after-sales service because they are close to the consumers. Consumers can always go back to them for after-sales services. They also stock variety of goods so that consumers can get most of their needs at one spot. Then they sell in small units to the consumers. They break bulk from the wholesalers. But retailers do not finance the manufacturers because they don't buy from the manufacturers. Rather, they may finance the wholesalers, but they have no direct dealing with the manufacturers. So option D is the odd item out. Option D. Question 45. A firm on the stock exchange which agrees to buy shares not bought after a public offer is dash. A firm on the stock exchange which agrees to buy shares not bought after a public offer is dash. Is it a broker, a stag, a jobber, or an underwriter? And the stock exchange, there are certain persons or organizations that are allowed in the stock exchange, and one is the jobber, who acts in its name or in his name in buying secondary securities. But a broker is person who acts on behalf of another in buying secondary securities or shares. So in this case, a firm on the stock exchange which buys goods not on behalf of another person but for itself is a jobber, not a broker. So the correct answer is option C. Option C. If the question were to be on behalf of another person, then option A would have been correct. Move on to question number 46. Question 46 says, which of the following ancillary services makes it possible for goods to be where they are required? Which of the following extra services or supporting services makes it possible for goods to be where they are required to be? A, communication, B, banking, C, transportation, and D, insurance. Communication only makes it possible for buyers and sellers to agree on trade. Banking makes payments for trade easier, but transportation makes it possible for goods to be where they ought or they are required to be. Insurance covers the risks that may arise from human activities, either trading or not. So a correct answer is option C. Transportation is what makes goods to be where they are required. Question 47. Ojo bought a bicycle for 20,000 naira and repaired it at a cost of 5,000. He then sold the bicycle for 30,000. What was his net profit? Net profit is your sales minus your cost of goods sold minus all expenses. Now, the sales here is 30,000. Now, let's subtract all what is spent from it. 20,000, the cost of the bicycle, and the repair of the bicycle, what it cost him to bring the bicycle to a tradable state. So the total cost is 25,000, which is the total cost of goods sold. So 30,000 minus 25,000 would give us 5,000. Again, the sales of 30,000 minus 20 minus 5, and that will give us 5,000. Option D is our correct answer. Question 48. Oh, on the same scenario, Ojo bought a bicycle for 20,000 and repaired it at a cost of 5,000. He then sold the bicycle for 30,000. What is the percentage of expenses over costs? What's the percentage of expenses over cost? Take note, the cost is 20,000. The cost is 20,000. The expenses is 5,000. So what's the percentage of the expenses over the cost? So let's express 5,000 as a percentage of 20,000. To do that, we're going to multiply the expenses 5,000 by 100, then divide by the cost. Meaning, let's do the illustration. So we have the expenses of 5,000 times 100 divided by the costs, 20,000. So 2 here, 2 here, you have 2 more here, 2 more here. So 50 divided by 2, that gives us 25%. So our correct answer is option C. Option C. I hope you understand that we want to express 5,000 as a percentage of 20,000. So multiply this by 100 and divide by 20,000, which gives us 25%. All right, so let's move on to that's question 49 next. We are fast moving to the end of the class. Question 49. This is also on the same scenario of Ojo, and it asks us, what is the cost of goods sold? What is the cost of goods sold? The cost of goods sold is the expenses that was made, is the amount that was spent excluding the general expenses. So the actual amount that was spent on the item that was sold, the amount that was spent in getting the bicycle itself, and which is this amount. Recall that we already mentioned in the last question that this is expenses. So when you subtract these from this, when you subtract sales from cost of goods sold, you get gross profit. Then you subtract expenses from your gross profits before you get net profit. So this is our cost of goods sold, which is 20,000. Option C. Option C, 20,000. On to the last question, question number 50. This is, which of the following mode of transportation involves the use of trams? Option A says land transport. Option B, sea transport. Option C, air transport. And option D, pipeline. Trams are they are flatbed that are used to transport cargo on inland waters, not on IC. So between a relatively short distance that has shallow waters. So that is on water sea transport. So the correct answer is option B, sea transportation. And that brings an end to our 2010 UTME question. It's been nice having you in this class. I'm sure you learned so much as I've enjoyed this class. Be kind enough to tell your friends. So I hope to see you all in the next class along with your friends. And as you do that, we have rewards waiting for you. Thank you. Once again, my name is Mr. Emmanuel, and I'm wishing you success in your forthcoming exams. Bye.